James Taylor, professor of politics at the University of San Francisco, and our political analyst, Brian Sobel. Thanks for joining us, gentlemen.
Yes.
Brian, start with you. Who won the debate and how'd they do?
Well, I think it was pretty clear that Hillary Clinton won the debate. And I thought that Donald Trump didn't do a very good job tonight. And I think he left a lot of things open that he could have closed in terms of issues and prosecuting Hillary Clinton on things that she's vulnerable with.
Specifically what?
Everything from the emails to Benghazi, you know, the whole list that we're familiar with and have heard recited over and over again, and you know, just didn't come with a lot of energy in the beginning of the debate. Thought he, you know, first 20 minutes really poor.
Your take, James?
I pretty much don't know where to start either. You know, I think they both did what they needed to do. I thought Trump tried. And for the first 45 minutes or so, first hour, Donald Trump held his own. He actually did enough to at least appear composed. And then once Hillary Clinton called him Vladimir Putin's puppet, it all came apart. And from that point on, the same way she did with calling him his father's, basically saying your father gave you your wealth, it threw him off the first time. And I think she waited. I said last time we were here that she rope-a-doped him in the second contest. And I think this is the third one where she needed to be more aggressive and to leave a good impression with the American voters.
A lot of people are very concerned about what Donald Trump had to say about honoring the outcome of the election and the ramifications of that leading all the way up through and after Election Day. So talk about the significance of that.
I mean, our politics are already defined mostly by polarization. Red state, blue state, conservative, liberal, north, south, east, west. And for a major party nominee to sort of throw this kind of red meat, to question the very legitimacy of our political institutions, not the politicians, not what's wrong with Washington, the swamp of people in Washington, but the systems, the institutions, the electoral institutions. And he's questioned the very integrity of those, and I think that's really harmful.
Oh yeah, I think he's going to have a hard time overcoming that. You know, this is not you know, a tin pot dictatorship. We're not talking about a country that's had juntas and things like that. For him to go there, I thought will take a lot of votes from him. I think people will look at that and say, that really doesn't cut it.
Okay, what about with his base, though? Do you think this helps his base, energizes them, or does this suppress his base?
Well, no, I think his base, they find no fault with what he said, but his base can't win this election. And he hasn't understood that since the beginning here. He has not expanded his base. And when you make these kind of comments, most of the electorate says, that's not right.
And that's going to be the headline tomorrow, is this the way it ended, and with this, you know, this horrible comment, the attack on Hillary as a person and calling her a terrible person or a terrible woman, that just does not play well. And if you're trying to expand your base at this point, 3 weeks out, if you look at what happened in 12 and what happened in 08, at this point, everything pretty much holds. Only in, I think, about 1948 and 1988, with both Truman and later Dukakis and Bush the father, do you have these sort of last-minute changes in the electorate. And I won't go more, but those are two instances, and I don't think that's lining up for Donald Trump.
What about this, though? We've spent a lot of time in this over the course of the last year talking about these are not perfect candidates, that these candidates both have a lot of flaws. So if we acknowledge what Donald Trump's low point was tonight, what would you say, did Hillary Clinton have a low point tonight?
Well, I thought, on balance, she did a very good job throughout the debate. She still has trouble answering questions around things like the email controversy, the meeting on the plane with the Attorney General and her husband, things like this. She doesn't have a good answer for, and frankly, Trump didn't exploit it either.
James, I'm curious about the bigger effects of the election, not just for the White House, but for Congress. The down ballot candidates, tonight's performance, is that going to help the Democrats retake Congress?
No, I think at this point there's been this question of whether they can take the Senate, whether they can take the House. And at this point, it doesn't look good for the Republicans, for the Democrats to take over. But I think they will lose some of the power that the Republicans have held, and some of the the distance in terms of their majorities. But I don't think anything in terms of total turnover can happen. But Donald Trump may have this unintended or unanticipated impact in the electorate that might turn a lot of states purple or blue. We've seen places like Nevada, Arizona, and Utah, because of the Mormon vote. My students and I just got finished talking about this in my religion and politics class, is definitely responding negatively to Donald Trump.
Okay, and we're almost out of time. Just a quick final thought for you before we go.
I think nothing changed tonight in terms of moving anybody that wasn't already committed to one of these two candidates. That didn't help Donald Trump.
All right, 19 days to go. We have an interesting 3 weeks left to go in this campaign. Gentlemen, thank you.